And then welcome, Cathy, again. So now it is
Thank
your
you.
turn, and now you go ahead, please.
Thank you, Udaf. Hi, everyone. Hi, Team Horizon. It's my great honor to see all of your smiling and beautiful faces here. So today, Udaf invited me to come here to talk about 7702 IUL with you guys. You guys know a lot about IUL already, right? So before I start sharing my experience, I have two questions. The first question is, what do you want to learn about IUL today? Can you put it in the chat real quick? I want to make sure everybody's question will be addressed today. What do you want to know about IUL? Put it in the chat real quick. Or what questions or concerns do you have about IUL? How it works? Okay, very good question. Thank you, Subhash. Any other questions? How IUL works? Various uses of IUL. Very good. Pros and cons. History, background. Okay. History and background. Okay. Good. Importance. Okay. What's the reinvestment part of it? Okay. History and background. Okay. Very good. Okay. 50 years from now, how is better than group insurance from workplace? That's a good question. How premium or cost is calculated? Okay, that we go to okay, elaborate more IUL in my version. Okay. Why would one, okay, better than, okay, cool. We got enough. We got enough to work on. Very good. And the next question I have is, who have IUL? Who have IUL? Okay, you own IUL yourself. And if you own IUL yourself, can you put why? Why did you buy? Thank you, Ita. Why do you buy IUL? Yay, a lot of me in here. That's good.
Yes, for my retirement benefit, for my financial future.
Retirement. Okay.
For better,
okay.
Yes.
Okay, good. Retirement. Okay. Protection, long-term care, tax advantage. Okay. Safe. Okay. All right, good. Those are a lot of reasons why we should buy IUL already. Okay, so let's work on the details today. Let me share my screen. Okay, thank you for all of the inputs. Okay, so how IUL works. Let's start with this first thing. What we put in IUL, the money we put in IUL is called a premium. It's called a premium. Everybody is familiar with this word, right? Premium. When we buy, for example, car insurance or house insurance, premium equals to cost of insurance. Am I right? So if I stop paying premium, I lose the coverage. But in IUL, premium does not equal to cost of insurance. So in premium, there is a range. We have a minimum premium that we can contribute, or we have a maximum premium we can contribute. What is the minimum premium as cost of insurance? So let me ask you guys, who would pay minimum? Who would pay minimum? Who would pay just the cost of insurance? For people who want to buy life insurance, am I right? Am I right? Bishu, am I right? So if I want to buy, for example, 1 million life insurance, I just want to pay the cost, right? Then I get the biggest leverage, okay? However, on the other side of the spectrum, we can have the maximum contribution. What's in between minimum and the maximum is my investment. So then my question is, who would put in the maximum? The people who want to maximize their investment will put the maximum. Does this make sense to you guys? We have the flexibility how much money we put in. If we only want to buy the insurance, we just pay the minimum. Then I got 1 million coverage. But if I want to invest, my focus is on the investment, I would put the maximum. Does that make sense? we have the range of flexibility. Okay. And who is deciding the minimum and the maximum? Who is deciding that? That is the Congress, because Congress is the one who regulates the entire insurance industry, including 7702. Are we good on this part? So when we're talking about premium, we don't confuse with cost of insurance, right? Okay. And then how does it work is, let's imagine we have a piggy bank. We have a piggy bank. I'm going to draw 4. Let's draw 3. Let's draw 3. They are identical size. So let's say this is a million IUL. This is a million IUL. And this is in year 0. This is in year, for example, 10. And this is in year 20. Okay. So at the beginning, I just buy IUL today. And knock the wood, if I die tomorrow, how much money will my family get from life insurance company? Is that $1 million? Right? We just flip the tank, and my family will get $1 million. So this is called the death benefit. This is called death benefit. Okay, are you guys with me? Prem, we're good. Okay, let's say I am also putting in my investment in there. I'm putting my investment in there. So it's like the piggy bank. We get something inside. So I invest in IUL, okay? And this pink part is called cash value. This pink part is called cash value. So this is living benefit. This is not death benefit anymore. I can use this cash value. So I just make up numbers. Let's say I have 200 grand in cash value. I can use this money. This is like my savings. I can take out 100,000. I can take out 50,000. I can take out 180,000 without a problem. This is living benefit. This is like a cash. Okay. So if I die at this point, I also flip the chart, flip the tank. My family still got $1 million, but out of this $1 million, 200,000 is my cash value, and what the insurance company will pay is right here, is 800K. So add up together, this is still $1 million capacity, but 200 grand, hey, it's my cash, it's my investment. And I'm only purchasing 800,000 life insurance from the insurance company. Are we good here? So right now it serves great. Thank you for the feedback. So in this scenario, it serves 2 purposes. Okay, one is death benefit, the other one is cash value. Okay, so let's move forward. So, oops. All righty. So let's say my cash value keeps increasing. So in year 20, the pink part is growing big. Okay. And let's say right now it's 800K. Hey, let me ask you, if knock the wood, if I die in year 20, how much money my family got? Die at year 20, how much money do the family get? 1 million, Ram, bingo, 1 million. Out of this 1 million, 800K is my own cash, okay? And life insurance company sells me 200 grand. Okay, so this is a design called the level design. This is called the level design. It is used very, very popular, very commonly in middle income family. Okay, you guys heard from James Lee, right? He's my sideline. I'm the replacement of James. And I know that he introduced some IOL to you guys as well. This design is coming from the S-curve. So S-curve is called the liability and the wealth. Okay, so when we're young, we have kids to raise, we have parents to serve, right? Our liability is very high. And we just start building cash value in IOL. So we don't have much money, but we're working, right? So at the very beginning in year 0, the main purpose for this is death benefit. But as we move on, as we age, okay, the liability drops, okay? Parents might pass away, kids might grow up, and we need more wealth, right? So this is like in year 20, we have 800K as tax-free retirement, and we just need a minimum insurance. So this design is very popularly used, okay? Any questions so far? You can raise your hand, you can unmute, you can put in the chat. I want to make sure everybody follows. Any questions so far? No, we're good? Good so far. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so let's move forward. Okay. In the investment part, I do have some slides that I can show you immediately. For the investment part, I think this is very famous. Everybody understands about the safety, right? The market risk. So the investment part, after the deduction of the cost insurance, I'm in investing, and my investment is linked to index. We can pick different various index from different products, okay? And we have the floor and the cap, okay? So I really like chart, and the clients understand chart better than numbers. So let's say we have 2001 to 2015, right? This is S&P 500. This is like the stock market of the entire US. And you guys can think about, this can be your investment in mutual funds. This can be your investment in 401k. And we got tanked for twice. One was in the IT bubble. I don't know where everybody was during that time. And we also had financial crisis, right? I was in school in financial crisis. And that was a nightmare in the entire Wall Street. So if I retire in year 2020, 2010, and this is like 10 years, right? This 10 years is called the lost decade in American history. And the one of my aunts who was she was working in the oil and gas industry for her entire life, and she wanted to retire in 2010, but her 401k got big hit. So she has to delay her retirement for another 10 years. She did not retire until 2019. So the average return was only 2.74. However, in IOL, because of the promise life insurance gives us, the floor and the cap. So when the market drops, we're protected. Our wealth was protected. And when we gain, we gain. And when the market tanks again, we're protected. So when everybody is crying about market risk, everybody is crying about market loss, we're smiling ear to ear. Does this make sense to everyone? So who likes IOL in the investment world? I actually have some clients who used to be trader. They are trading stocks. They're trading, they're trading commodities. They like market risk. They like up and down, but they are still my IOL clients. Why is that? Because everybody is looking for some sort of safety in the long term, And they tell me that, hey, you know what, Cathy, after I have IOL, I have the foundation. I have the safety. Okay, I'm market risk free. And then I can be even more aggressive on my other investment. Does this make sense? So we have a strong buffer. Okay, so this is the usage on the market risk side. Okay. Let me find you the spec. Well, you know what? I'm going to draw it. So if we're looking at the market risk as a spectrum, okay, this side is safety, and this side is aggressive. Okay. Who are at the safety side? The CD, the bank. Okay. I don't know about you guys, like Chinese people, they put a lot of money in CD and the bank. What's the problem with CD and the bank? It does not grow. It does not grow. And inflation is a big enemy, right? And on the right side, who is the aggressive part? Stock, mutual funds, right? So what is their enemy? Market risk, market risk. And you might also heard about high risk, high return, right? Well, usually high return companies with high risk, but doesn't mean high risk will guarantee high return. Does that make sense? For example, gambling, okay. Gambling is a high risk, but does it mean that we definitely have to get high return? No, we might lose money. So what's in the middle? In the middle is IOL. IOL's return is roughly 7 to 9%. Okay, mutual fund and the stocks, if we do it good, we can get 12% and above. CD and the bank, 1% to 2%. Okay. Any question about IOL? IOL's position. IOL's position is in the middle. Okay. And during the Monday webinar, I believe I showed you guys this. Okay. So a lot of people, their investment career looks like this. We start young, and we start, we start brave. Okay, we take risk. We were chasing 10% to 12% return. But as we age, as we approaching retirement, we're getting more and more conservative. Do you think this is the good retirement state? It is not. People are forced to get conservative as we age, okay? But if we put in IOL, okay, 7 to 9% of return from age 30 to age 70. Okay. This is huge. I can show you guys a little bit about my mom's account. This is only for Team Horizon. My mom became my client at age of 60, okay? And I can show you guys her investment. So she is in her 60s. How would you serve a client of her age? How would you serve a client of her age? Okay, it's hard. Would you recommend like stock market to her? No, she's about to retire. She might lose money. Okay, but would you recommend her to put in the bank? It doesn't grow, right? So this is her money. Okay, from this is a short period. Okay, 15% of return. This is old, and let's say 2018. Her retirement. See, 2018. The first month, 15%. The second month, market drop. She does not lose any money. The third, 15%. Okay, 12%. Okay, so this was 2018. And the 2019. Let's see. Okay, 0% when market drops. 12%, 10%, 9, 8, 7. To 0. So this shows that, even though at her age, she can still participate in the market. And when the market does not perform well, everybody is losing money. Okay, her money is protected. But when the market performs good, then the best return she can get is 15%. So my mom is very satisfied with this investment, even though she's in her 60s. So the number one selling point for IOL is market risk free. Okay, risk control. This is number one thing. Any questions so far? I think it's detailed and thorough, right? Any question? No question. Okay, let's move on to the second thing. This is a life insurance. And I see from the chat, some people ask us, hey, why do you choose IOL instead of group term? Group term. So what is group term? When you are working for some company, usually that's part of the employee benefit, right? So group term meaning that we don't have to go through any medical exam, then we got to protect it. Was that everybody's experience when you get a group term? You don't go to blood work, right? You just join, right? Because that's a bundle. That's a bundle. And for group term, what does term mean? Term means temporary. Term meaning temporary. Do you guys like something temporary or do you like something permanent? IUL is permanent. Okay, IUL is permanent. So this is like rent a house. And this is like own a house. Okay, simple to explain, right? If you have money, do you want to rent or own? You don't want to rent. Why you don't want to rent? Rent is cheap. Rent is cheaper. Rent is cheaper than mortgage sometimes. But why do you want to own? You don't want to rent because that does not belong to you, right? When we rent, we don't have the ownership. If we don't pay the rent, the house is someone else, right? We don't get the ownership, okay? And it is temporary. But if we own a house, we buy the ownership. Eventually, this is mine. This is mine, and I can pass it down. I can sell it, right? So the same thing in the insurance world. This is temporary. If I lose job, I lose my coverage. Okay. If I lose job at the age of 50, 60, okay, 65, I'm screwed because it's going to be too expensive for me to purchase another one. Okay. But if we have a permanent life insurance, doesn't matter where I go, where I live, what I'm doing, this is mine. So for temporary death benefit, it might not be yours because we might get laid off. No one guarantees tomorrow. But for permanent death benefit, this is guaranteed to be paid to my household. If I die at the age of 120, 130, 140, great. This money is ours. It's my kids, right? My family's. Okay. All right. Any question for the life insurance part? This is permanent. And this is why term insurance is cheap because it only covers a term, 10 year, 20 year, 30 years, okay? That means in year 21, in year 31, I lose the coverage. That's why it's cheap, okay? But for permanent life insurance, because it guarantees to pay until age 120. So this is why permanent life insurance is more expensive than temporary, but it's worth it. This one, I might only buy 30 years, but this one, I buy unlimited, okay? So if you have a client who is interested in life insurance and they tell you, hey, you know what, I just want a term because it's cheap, tell them the benefit of permanent life insurance, okay? When does it mature for a 30-year-old? Maturity, the word maturity does not use that often in life insurance world. So what do you mean by mature? What do you mean by mature? If we live until age 120, okay, they will pay us $1 million. Okay. Pushpa?
Yes, hi, Cathy.
Elaborate.
Yes, I was. My question is, pardon me, my house is being remodeling, so I need to go out. It's kind of noisy. So my question was, let's say 30-year-old starts the policy IUL, and for how long does he or she have to pay the premium?
Okay, this is actually very flexible. Depends on how much money she is paying, put it this way. So back to here. If she's paying minimum, thank you for the question. This is a great question. If she's paying the minimum, okay, she has to pay for her lifetime. Minimum means like the cost of insurance, okay. So if she's paying the minimum, like little, she has to pay her entire life. Okay. But the beauty of IUL is she can pay more than minimum. Okay. In earlier years. And then the rest of the money goes to where? It goes to the investment, right? And the investment is growing into cash value. You follow me? It grows into the cash value. Okay. And what does the cash value do? The cash value, the pink part keeps growing. And the cash value is paying the cost of insurance for us. Okay. The cost of insurance for us, meaning that I don't have to use my paycheck to pay the cost of insurance anymore because my cash value is covering my cost of insurance. Okay. So this account becomes self-sustainable. So this is a very flexible. This is why an advisor needs to be involved. How much money she's willing to pay, minimum or more than minimum. And if more than minimum, how much more? How much more? And we need to make sure the cash value is enough to cover the cost of insurance until age 120. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. Thank you.
Okay. All right, good question. And I think I missed one question. What's the minimum age to start IUL? 6 months. 6 months baby. Once he gets a social security number, we can help this baby to get IUL. But the caveat is we need to make sure this baby's parents have life insurance of any kind. We need to make sure the parents have coverage. Yeah, otherwise the insurance company wouldn't give offer to the baby. Okay. All right. What do we just cover? The life insurance part, right? The permanent life insurance part. Now you guys understand why life insurance is better than term insurance or group term. Okay. Any question? Any other questions so far? We just covered feature number 2. Okay. All right, let's move on. Let's move on. Okay. Feature number 3, my favorite topic, taxation. Taxation. Do you have some friends who love paying tax? Anyone? No, right? So what should we do? We talk to everybody. We talk to everybody about taxation. Okay. Does the parent need the same value of life insurance when we buy for kids? Same value, you mean same coverage, right? It depends on the company. Some company, they can match 100%, saying that I have $1 million and my kids can buy up to $1 million. But some companies, they only match 50%, being that I have $1 million, my kids can only buy 500K coverage. So this depends on the company. So 50% is normally same. Okay. Parents need to have more coverage. Okay. Otherwise, it's like a target on kids, and they want to protect, protect the kids from getting hurt from their parents. This is American society. Okay. Go back to taxation. What is your guys' view on future taxation? Do you think the future taxation will go up or go down? Future taxation. Go up or go down? Up, up, up. Okay. I asked 1,000 people about this question. I got 1,000 answers of up. So what is really driving future taxation? It is not inflation. It is not interest rate. It is government spending. When the government needs to pay more, okay? Yes, you're right, Raja. Yeah, it also depends on the state's spending, okay? Yeah, I'm in California. I used to be Texas. So what is state tax? I didn't know about state tax, but right now I'm in California, okay? And this is a historical chart. Champion team, we all use this chart. Back in the Second World War, okay, World War II, okay, the tax rate was 94%. How does that feel? We made $100 today, but we bring home $6 only. $6 only. 94 goes to the government. How does that feel? Because the government spent like crazy, right? But after Second World War II, the gray area is government spending. Government spend much less, and so they reduced the tax rate. They reduced the tax rate. What happened after 9/11? it was wartime again, right? Government start to to spend a lot, but the tax rate stays low. The tax rate stays low. This is individual, income tax. So who's gonna filling up the gap? What do you guys say? Do you think individuals like you and me, we're going to fill up the gap, or do you think a corporate will do? Shell, Chevron, Google, Microsoft. Who will fill up the gap? Do you think it's individual or corporate? Middle class. Us. Okay. I don't know whether you guys saw this website before. This is called US Dead Clock. You guys can save this. This is a government. And when I show this to clients, they are impressed. They are impressed and they are also shocked. Okay. So this is a government website, US Debt Clock, how much money this company own other people. Okay. On the left top, US national debt, 29 trillion. Okay. It's in red. That means it's debt. On the right side, it's the green one. The green numbers, they are revenue. They're revenue. So let's take a look at it. Okay. Corporate tax revenue. It's in the second part. I don't know whether you guys can follow my mouse. It's a 351 billion. 351 billion. This is corporate tax revenue. This is what corporate is paying. Google, Microsoft, Boeing, they are paying 351 billion. Okay. And the tariff. Okay. This is what, trading and trading tariff. This is 69 billion. On top of that, you can see income tax. You can see payroll tax. Income tax is what a business owner is paying. Payroll tax is what employee are paying. Add up together 1.978 trillion plus 1.310 trillion. How much do we get? Over 3 trillion. Over 3 trillion. What does this tells us? Individual is paying 10 times more than corporate. So we are, you and me, we are paying much more tax than Shell, than Exxon, than Microsoft, than Google. Okay. When I show this to clients, they are shocked, but they're also impressed. And they understand what point. We need to have a good strategy to save future tax rate go up. This is our burden. This is my favorite topic. Okay. Very, very few people, very few people in this country, they have good tax advisor. And what is our solution? What is our solution, right? 3 bucket, tax now, tax later, tax advantage. We are all familiar with the first bucket, checking, savings, stock, mutual fund, you name it. We have to pay tax as we go, okay? What does tax later mean? Tax later means we save tax this year, but we have to pay back later. We have to pay back later. At what tax rate? At a future tax rate. At a future tax rate. So you might have 401k if you work for some company. You might have 403b if you work for universities or government. Okay, you can start your own IRA, your annuity. Few people have pension nowadays. Social Security or investment property. We have to pay tax later. Okay. Last but not least is called tax advantage. This is after tax money. So if we buy those 3 products, we pay from our money in the bank. So that is after income tax, right? But once we contribute, we are done with IRS. We don't pay any dollar in the future. This is called tax advantage. And you can tell we don't have much choices. We don't have many choices. Roth IRA, how much can we contribute a year? It's a limited amount, right? $6,000, $6,000 a year. That's Roth IRA. That's it. And we cannot access it until we can access the principal part, but we cannot access the gain part until age 59 and a half. So if you are a fool, if you don't qualify for Roth, what do? 7702 is the only solution. And do we want to save today's tax or tomorrow's tax? We want to save tomorrow's tax. So this is another reason why we should have 7702, because we want to save tomorrow's tax. Any question on this part? Okay, let's see. Oh, Roth 401k. Roth 401k is so that means you might not have Roth 401k with your company's portfolio, because this is not up to us. This is what employer choose to provide. 401k is traditional 401k. It's like pre-tax money. So we save money this year, but Roth 401k is like, I can also contribute up to $19,500, but it's a Roth treatment, meaning that I don't have, it's after tax money and I don't pay tax in the future. So some companies provide this option, some company don't, okay? All right, move forward. Okay, we're good here. Let me give you an example of tax planning. This solves the problem of me only having 401k, only having 401k. This is what I'm looking for. So this is 2021 federal tax table. Okay. So for example, years later, okay, with inflation and everything, I need to have $160,000 a year to maintain my lifestyle, for example. Okay. If I pull $160,000 off from my 401k, traditional 401k, what does that mean? I have to pay tax. I have to pay tax. This is as of 2021. Okay. So if I pull out $160,000 from 401k, according to the marginal tax rate, 10, 12, 20, 24. Okay. How much taxation should I pay? $26,780. Okay. I used to have a client who worked for oil and gas company as executive over 30 years. And every dollar he saved was in 401k. Okay. So when he retires, he needs to access the money. He has to pay tax on every dollar he withdraws. Okay. But if he came to me 10 years earlier or 20 years earlier, I would start a 7702 for him. So let's say as we retire, we have two accounts. We have a IUL and we have a 401k. Okay. How would I withdraw money? I would withdraw to the minimum. I'm going to withdraw 80 to 50. How much tax am I paying? 10%, 12%, right? Only $9,235. But I need 160. Where do I put the rest of the money? I withdraw it from IUL. I take it out from IUL. So in general, I'm still maintaining a lifestyle of $160,000, but I'm only paying the minimum tax. This is called a hybrid strategy. This is called a hybrid strategy. Here, I never argue the advantage of 401k. I never argue. 401k is a great thing. It has a free match, okay? And it has discipline. It has dollar cost averaging. It's great. IUL is adding value to your existing 401k. And you don't have to contribute to the maximum of 401k. I recommend my client to contribute to the minimum just to get a free match. And the rest of the money you save in IUL. And then you got two different tools when you retire. This is like take a shower. We need to have hot water and cold water. This is like, I only have hot water and I'm going to get burned, okay? And this is like, I can adjust how much hot and how much cold I need. Make sense? We give ourselves option. We give us flexibility to our retirement life, okay? And for this 401k, when I contribute, because it's a pre-tax dollar, right? Every dollar I contribute in 401k, I'm saving the highest tax bracket of my income. It can be 24%, it can be 32%, it can be 37%, depends on where your income range is. I'm saving the highest tax bracket, but when I take out, I'm paying the lowest tax bracket. See, the big tax advantage is right here. But if I save 37% when I contribute, and when I take out, I'm paying 37%. It's like no advantage at all. Does that make sense? This is why we need this two account. And this is 1 year save. If we retire for 20 years, big number. By the way, I'm using 2021 income tax table, and we just discussed it. Do you think it will move up or move down in the future? It will move up. So this account is much more important in the future than today. This is huge. Don't you agree? This is huge. Doesn't matter what state you're at, you want to save tax. And we don't have many choices. Any question on feature number 3? Saving future tax in IUL. Any question? Let's put in the chat. No, okay, good, thank you. Okay. You guys ready to sell? This is super powerful, isn't it? Okay, the next topic. Kids education. I don't have any kids yet, but what I do, I want to start kids education saving right away. I also have a team in Canada, and we were comparing the college expenses. Canada is so cheap, so inexpensive. It's like UBC is like $8,000 a year. The best university in Canada costs like $8,000, but in America is totally different. It's like minimum minimum is like $50,000 a year. So quarter million spent easily on college. Okay, and it keeps increasing. It goes up, you know, much faster than inflation. So if we withdraw cash value after 10 years, we need to pay tax or interest. Okay. For IUL, there are two ways to take out money. Okay, let's pause here. Next topic is education funding, but let's pause here. Let me show you an illustration. Once you get licensed, you are able to get appointed, and once you get appointed, you are able to run the illustration. Okay, so let me just randomly run one. You need to know where you can find the official wording. Okay. Okay. IUL accumulator. Okay. I just randomly put one. Okay, interest rate. So when you take money out, there are several different ways to take money out. The first one is called withdrawal. Withdrawal is like we are withdrawing money from 401k. It's like we are withdrawing money from the bank. Okay. Withdrawal meaning that the transaction is one time and we cannot pay back. Withdrawal meaning that I'm using my money, but we cannot pay back. Withdrawal above the capital gain part, we have to pay tax. So withdrawal is not recommended. What we can do is borrow. Okay, is borrow. So if I have $500,000 cash value saved in my cash value, I can borrow against it to get money. And do we pay tax when we borrow money? We do not. We do not. So, so this is what we do. Yeah, we use loan. We use loan. Let me find the, okay. And using loan is recommended. So this is nationwide, by the way. You can pick any IUL company if you wanna understand that. Let me see where I can find it. Okay, here we go. So this is the loan rate. This is the loan rate. So, okay, if we borrow money, we do not pay tax. But if we borrow money, we pay interest, right? How much can we borrow? Depends on how much cash value I have. And what is the interest rate? Different company has different thing. This is a nationwide policy. So for the policy year 1 to year 10, I am charged 3.9%. 3.9% annually on how much loan I'm taking. Okay. However, I'll get a credit. I'll get a credit interest back. How much do I get back? 3%. 3%. So for the first 10 years, every year I'm charged 3.9% and I got 3% back. What is the net loan interest? 0.9%, right? And after year 11, I am paying 3%. I'm charged the 3% and I got a 3% credit back. So the wash is 0%. So basically after year 11, no tax, no interest. Isn't that beautiful? Okay. Next question. If someone has pension and the 401k in the same job, what do you recommend for going both that person has IUL as well? Okay, so if well, I do have a client who is my IUL client and he has pension. He's a doctor. And his pension paid him 70% after he retires. Basically, he does not need any money after retirement. His retirement was taken care of by the university, but he owns IUL because he wants to have long-term care. That's the case of my client. Okay. It also depends on if his well, if we're talking about the cash value feature of IUL, it depends on this person if the pension and the 401k is enough for him. If it's enough, okay. If he is enough with his pension for his retirement, he absolutely needs no money after he retires. Then he does not need IUL. But if he has extra money, he wants to invest, where does he put it? Stock market, then market risk, right? If he puts in mutual funds, then taxation, right? So it's the same thing. Where do you invest? Where do you invest, and where, and what is your needs? What is your needs? I don't know whether this explained, Udav. Even though he has pension and 401k, he can still buy IUL. Okay. All right. Shall we move on to the education part?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So what we do for client is that we increase their eligibility to get a financial aid. Okay. Financial aid is the free money. It's the free money that the government and the university provide. So the more financial aid we help clients to get, the more money they save. Okay. The more money they save, the more money they have for retirement. So this is like project after project. And a financial aid equals a COA minus EFC. COA is cost of attendance. EFC is expected family contribution. EFC is calculated. So this is very clear. our objective is to reduce EFC, and increase the eligibility of financial aid. And the COA is out of our control. It will keep rising. Okay. And there are 4 parts in EFC. So for dependent kids, okay, don't take a job. If they take a job, they have W-2 income, and they put their social security number in there. They pay tax, and their income will be calculated when financial aid is calculated. Okay, so if they want to work, do volunteer work. Okay, and the kids' asset, don't open assets on the kid's name. If you walk into the bank, the banker will encourage you, hey, you're a loving and a responsible father. How about open account for your kids, and then the kid will only charge, kiddie tax. Well, they don't understand financial aid, because the kid's asset will be calculated. They put a social security number in there, it will be calculated when financial aid is calculated. Okay. And the parent's income, join WFG. Join WFG, you own a business, okay? And you can write off expense. This is the beauty of owning a business in this country, okay? We can reduce income via business expenses. But if you have W-2 income, you cannot reduce anything. It's black and white, like my husband. Okay, we cannot reduce any tax from W-2, but I'm 1099, okay? I'm able to reduce my business expense, the miles I'm driving, the dinner I have with prospects, etc. Okay, and the parents' asset is a huge thing, because parents' assets impact is roughly 8% to 12%. It looks like not much, but usually the asset base is big, like a million, a couple of million. So the impact is huge. What do we do as advisor to clients? We're trying to allocate parents' asset in a smart way, because some of the assets are visible, some of the assets are invisible. What does that mean? So there are 2 kinds of assets. When we calculate financial aid, okay, on the left side, they are included. On the right side, it's excluded. So what are included? Those assets are included. We might have clients who save a lot of money in stock and the mutual fund, saving CD, rental property. We Chinese people, we love investing in houses. Okay, maybe we come from agriculture, society. I don't know. People love, buying houses. Okay, and a lot of people, they save a lot of money. It's like I have 2 bottles of water, right? 2 bottles of water. Okay, and if we put all of them on the table, they're all included. They're all visible. Okay, and on the right side, they're invisible. What are they? Qualified retirement, 401k, IRA, pension. Okay, SEP IRA, etc. Those are qualified retirement, qualified annuity, meaning that a 401k roll over to annuity. And what? An IUL, an IGIP. The cash value in IUL belongs here. Okay. So this is how we can help educate clients. You might make money in your rental property. However, if you have rental property, your rental income is counted as parents' income, and the equity part is counted as parents' asset. So you got double dipping. Okay. Instead of saving all your money here, put in here. Okay. It is still your money. It is still legit. It is still legal. Okay. But you got a financial aid. You got a bigger chance to get a financial aid. Okay. Tuition usually is one of the biggest expenses in our lifetime. But in here, we make money for you. We save huge for you. Okay. How do you suggest to allocate the parents' asset to get more financial aid? Just what I said. I educate them. From the tuition cost is getting more expensive. Are you ready for that? No. Okay. I want to get more financial aid. Okay. And how do we get financial aid? Through this. So what can you do? Yes, you can eliminate income, asset, kids income, kids asset. But what about your asset? If you save your asset in the wrong place, you don't get financial aid. If you save your asset in the right place, you get more financial aid. Are you interested to learn about the option? And I'll tell them how much money potentially you can get. The government put aside 2.6 billion every year, okay, in grant meaning free money. But if we don't know how to take advantage of it, we're losing money, okay? And those two assets, where do you save now? Where do you want to save? And they said, hey, can you tell me more about IGIP? Okay, sure, I'll tell you more about IGIP. This is how I do it. Yes, Denver, you have to sell the, if you want to get, more opportunity to get a financial aid, you do have to sell the rental houses. I have example right here. This is Emily. Emily, you guys know Yue Ding, right? Mary Ding, Chicago, EVC. Emily is the daughter of Mary Ding, okay? And Emily joined NYU in 2014 in film directing major, okay? And NYU is expensive. It was like $73,000 a year tuition, okay? And this is how much Mary Ding had, $70,000. 30,000 is pure cash, okay? 2,400 is work study, okay? And they have subsidized loan and unsubsidized loan. Subsidized loan meaning low interest rate or zero interest rate, okay? And unsubsidized meaning higher interest rate. So she got everything, every category. They got some financial aid. And how much did Yue make in 2014? $500,000 in WFG. Okay, back then I think she was EMD or something. She was making $500,000. Okay, and this is how much financial aid she got. And what did she do? They sold 4 rental properties. They sold 4 rental properties and put all of the cash in IUL, in IGIP. This is what they did. It took some time. It took like a year for them to sell all of their rental properties, but does it worth it? Like $70,000 a year times 4, right? $280,000. Is it worth it? It's worth it. But you have to do that a little bit early because they check the 2-year history. So Yue Ding needs to make sure if they want to get the financial aid in 2014, they need to make sure the houses were cleared out in year 2012. And financial aid is giving year after year. So if it's too late, doesn't matter, on the sophomore year or the 3rd year or the 4th year, we can still apply. Okay. Can we put all the cash in IUL one time after selling the house? You need to buy a bigger policy if you want to put in 400,000 cash. Yeah. Okay. I think that's enough for financial aid. Any other question? Okay. You guys ready to sell? Very powerful, right? Okay, next feature. Since we're talking about housing, and in my Monday training, I showed you guys an example of house purchasing, right? For house lovers, we need to think about something called exit strategy. It's a good idea to take a loan off 1K and invest in IUL. That is tricky. I never have experience to take a loan from 401k and contribute in IUL. Because if I take a loan from my 401k, I have to pay interest. I have to pay interest. This question is a little specific. It also depends on what is the age we're talking about. If this is a younger age, it's aggressive. I think have some money in 401k and invest in mutual fund is a good idea. It's a good idea. If I take out 401k, then I'm losing the potential for my mutual fund growth, right? And I have to pay loan interest. And then I put in IUL. It's right that I have tax benefit. I don't see it's a good idea. I don't know. I don't think so. But this is only my opinion. You can ask a different trainer about this. Okay, let's move on. Let's move to this scenario. So what I'm trying to say is house exit strategy. Exit means quit, right? Means quit. So I will sell the house. So for a lot of property lovers, okay, usually why do we buy property? We buy it for future retirement. Once we sell the house, we get the money for retirement. This is the purpose, right? This is the purpose. So this is how I would design. Let's say in age 30, I buy an IUL. And from age 70, I start to retire, okay? And every year I take a loan, $27,000 for 20 years, as my retirement. How much do I take out? 900,000, roughly a million. It's like my piggy bank. You guys still remember the piggy bank, right? I take out. How much I take out? 900K. So it's like a piggy bank. I have a big hole. I take out, I like a big hole of 900,000. Because I take out 900,000, I'm able to contribute back in 900,000. This is like you go to McDonald's and you buy a soda and you drink it. After you drink it, what can you do? You can refill it. IUL has this great feature of refilling. Think about your 401k. At the age of 70, you take out 900,000. Can you contribute 900,000 back in? You cannot. Once you withdraw. You cannot refill it. Okay. But in IUL, because I borrow money, I can pay back. I can refill it. This is powerful. And in my training, like, let's say I sold a rental property. I got 532,000 cash at age of 70. What do you do about this cash? Do you put it in the bank? It doesn't grow. Do you put it in the stock market? You don't dare to, right? Because of the market risk. But because in my piggy bank, I take out $900,000. Can I put back 500? Yes. So I put back 500 back to my IUL. It keeps growing, no tax, no market risk. Isn't that beautiful? If your friends, they are rich, they have a lot of rental property, tell them about, hey buddy, what is your exit strategy? What are you going to do after you sell the property? Ask them. They don't have a place to put. Another reason they need to buy IUL. Let me show you this chart. Here. This is called asset reallocation. I think we learned this from Rocky. So in this example, a 67-year-old retirement. Okay, and he owes a IUL. Okay, and he take a loan, 84,000 per year. After 14 years, at age 80, he took out 1.2 million income tax retirement, and he sells a house or downsizing. Okay, downsizing. You don't want a 3-floor big house. You don't know where to find your glasses, right? After we get age, so we don't know where to find things. We want a downsizing, and we got cash, okay? And we put it in IGIP. We put in IUL, okay? And then we transfer the asset into income, into more retirement income. Isn't this nice? Okay. Any question on this part? I think maybe I'm talking too much. Too many selling points. Naranka, do you have a question? Okay.
I don't think so. He just raised the hand by mistake.
Okay. Naranka sent me a message. How about refinancing the house to a lower monthly payment and invest in IOL? Yes, that's a good idea. But this is a caveat. As a financial advisor, we should never recommend client to refinance their house. This is not a part of our business, and it's unethical for us to give advices like that. Just be careful about that. Just be careful about that. But as a individual, as personal, yes, we're in the environment of low interest rate. So the more mortgage I'm taking, the more benefit I am. Okay. All right. One last feature I want to tell you guys today is long-term care. Is long-term care. Okay. So let me tell you guys, if we add a long-term care rider, okay, long-term care rider, meaning that I'm still owning this IUL and I'm just paying a little bit extra to add a feature, which is long-term care. So this is a 45-year-old male, okay, in nationwide. And for long-term care, how much additional charge I'm paying? $540 a year. $540 a year. That's not much. 540 divided by 12. So every month I'm only paying $45 additional. And I had a long-term care for 1 million. This is for 45 years old. Okay, younger, cheaper, older, more expensive. Okay, and how do I use this long-term care? Well, I have 1 million, right? The maximum monthly long-term care rider benefit is 2%. So every month I have 20 grand I can use for long-term care. Okay, 20 grand a month. So that means 400, wait, 20 times 12.
240.
480. Yeah. So this is how much long-term care I can use. And where do I use it? I can use formal home care, assisted living, adult daycare, and informal home care. What does informal home care mean? So even though I don't hire any professional people, I just have my family member taking care of me. Okay, only family member. Can I pay them? Yes. And I pay them cash. I pay them cash. So I got 1 million cash. I can use whatever I want to, and domestically and internationally. We're both international people, right? We're both international people. So we can use it. We can use it domestically or internationally, wherever you wanna use it. So, and with a minimum cost, this is the cheapest way to get a long-term care rider. Okay. Yes. Any other question about long-term care? Okay. And last but not the least, the history of life insurance. This is an article you guys should be able to find on Wall Street Journal. 2010. Okay. The life insurance industry has enjoyed beneficial tax treatment for its products for nearly a century. So this is not a new thing that IUL and IGIP can save tax. It's not a new thing. Okay. And the Congress is the one who is regulating this industry. But once they want to change it, it's hard to change it because it's so politically correct, because we're protecting widows and orphans. So no one's changing it. And in the society, top 10% income owner, which means the rich people, they own 55 and 1% of the entire industry. Okay, the bottom people, they don't own much life insurance. Okay, so this has been the rich people's tool for nearly a century. And why? Rich people, they do not need that much coverage, right? They are rich, they have a lot of money. If something happens to me, the financial situation won't be impacted much, right? But why they are so heavy? Because it's tax-free. It's tax-free. And they have dual tax advantage. The death benefit isn't subject to income tax, and the earnings accrue tax-free. Earnings is cash value. This is official, okay? So permanent life insurance has become a tax shelter for the rich. But can we take advantage of it? Yes. They buy 10 million, we buy a million, right? They buy 100 million, we buy 2 million, right? Yeah, we can take advantage of it. I think this is a wisdom, you know, whose advice should we follow when we talk about investment? Do we follow the rich or do we follow the poor? We follow the rich, right? Poor people, we talk about like Social Security, benefit, Roth IRA. We follow the rich people. We save the money where the rich saves because it's safe. It's safe. Do rich people save a lot in bank? They do not. They do not. You guys heard about this story in Manhattan, New York. There is a rich man, okay? The rich man always goes to the bank and tell the guy who work there, hey, this is my car. I want to take a 1 day collateral, 1 day, you know, 1 day collateral. And then the banker give him a small check. And one day the banker was very curious. Hey, Mr. Such and Such, why do you keep borrowing money from us using your car as a collateral? Why do you keep borrowing? And the rich guy said, you know what? I don't need the money, but this is the cheapest parking lot in the entire Manhattan. So this is the thinking process of the rich people. They always borrow money. They always thinking about collateral. They don't spend $50 in a parking lot, which he can afford, but he uses his car as a collateral and borrowing money and only pay the interest and park the car in the bank. You got what I'm saying? So using collateral, borrowing money is the wisdom from the rich people. And this is exactly the design for IUL. We accumulate cash and then we use the cash as collateral. And then we borrow money from the insurance company and then we only pay interest. And how much is the interest rate? 0%. 0% after year 11. We learn from the rich. So don't worry. Don't worry if the policy will change. Don't worry the tax law will change. I don't worry too much. Why? Because this is what the rich people are doing. They're lobbying the Congress for over a century. Yeah, I'm on recording, but but I think this is what's happening. And one more thing about history. One more thing about history. Oh, by the way, do you guys have this book? You guys can buy this book. I have one. It's quite expensive. It charged me how much? $140. I bought a second-hand book of this. This is called Modified Endowments under Section 7702 and 7702A. This book is official. I know a lot of people want to Google online to understand 7702. Good luck on the research. You don't get much. But this book is very thick, very big, and this is issued by Society of Oculturists. Arcturus. This is the official book about 7702 and 7702A. I did not finish the whole book. I only read chapter 1, and it's very fun to read. And you understand how 7702 and 7702A come from and what Congress has been doing to regulate it. It is the official source of this. And one last thing I want to share with you is the history. So we're talking about 7702. We're talking about IOL. This is life insurance, okay? And the life insurance has been developed for centuries in this country. Okay, since 1913. Okay, Congress issued law about 101A1 and 72E. Okay, what does this law do? It regulates that all death benefit is income tax free. This is what the law was doing. Okay. And at the beginning, we have term insurance, then we have permanent insurance, which is whole life and universal life. In the 50s and 70s, all of those insurance are focusing on death benefit, not living benefit. After 80s, okay, DEFRA, TAMRA, and 7702, which is IRS code, came out. Life insurance can be used as investment. So this is like the legendary, time in history that we can heavily invest in life insurance. Why do we do that? Because we want to save tax. Who wanted to save tax? The rich people. Who lobby the Congress? The rich people, right? We can invest it. So in the 90s, we have VUL, variable universal life. If you want to sell VUL, you need a security license. Okay. And in VUL, we invest in mutual funds. It's like our 401k. We invest in mutual funds. We get growth, we get gain, income tax free. Okay, capital gain tax free. Okay. And in the 90s, we have IUL, index universal life. We start to have floor and a cap. Okay. But in the 90s, it was not that popular because in the 90s, Wall Street was booming. Everybody was buying stock, junk bond, mutual funds, right? No one wants the floor and no one wants the cap. But what happened in 2002? IT bubble. What happened in 2008? Financial crisis. After all those, people start to realize, you know what? Risk management is important. And IUL starts to become very popular after year 2010. And then right now, the market cap is roughly 25% in the entire, life insurance market. So let's sell it. Think about it. If it grows to 95%, we might not have the opportunity to sell, right? Right now it's only 25%. It's like cell phone. We got an iPhone, right? iPhone just came out. And it's not like everybody has iPhone yet. Right now, only 1 out of 4 people have iPhone. That's a seller. Right? This is our opportunity. Cool. This is my sharing tonight. Today. Hi, Bishnu. If someone uses long-term care, does it minus on death benefit or not? It does minus on death benefit because we only paid $540, right? We only paid a minimum to get this benefit. So it's another feature. So yeah, if we use long-term care, the cash value will be reduced, the death benefit will be reduced. This is why we got this price. Okay.